Okay, Nicole and Holly, there's been so much talk about the future of the workplace, particularly after or amid the COVID-19 pandemic. What are companies going to do? Is it a hybrid work situation? Are they bringing everyone back? What does the workplace look like post-COVID? And I feel like you two came up with an interesting vision for the future of office spaces, and that is workplaces as inclusive social clubs. Nicole, do you want to take the lead on explaining what your concept is?
Yeah, definitely. So our vision for the future is really something that we're calling actually the Innovators Guild. So it resembles the social clubs of the past, but it eliminates that elitism that was associated with them. It will take an environment, modify it so that instead of being that exclusionary, it becomes exclusive to your company. So now your workplace actually becomes your work perk, and it's a place that you really go to get what you're missing. So what are we missing now? We're missing a place to overhear conversations, a place for spontaneity, a place that you have the collaboration moments that you produce those aha moments. Mm-hmm. So really your colleagues are now around for that environment in this really unique space that transforms through the day. It really becomes that extension of a brand culture and organization. It's your favorite neighborhood coffee shop, European piazza, co-working space, and library all mashed up into this one great place. And each day really enables that individual to accomplish their best work. And the environment has the tools and space that's lacking in the home environment. This Innovators Guild, it's truly a perspective shift. So instead of the office becoming an isolated place people go through Monday to Friday, it becomes a holistic destination that becomes in sync with their daily lives. You choose to go there, you want to go there, it's on your terms when you're there, and it really transforms the whole work environment.
Yeah, so it almost says like that. We wrote years ago about the third place, and that's kind of when Starbucks was popping up at every street
100%. Yeah, that is one of our kind of guiding principles. Is exactly what you're talking about, the Oldenburg third place.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I'm wondering, you mentioned, coffee shops and various sort of specific features. Can you walk through maybe what you called it Innovators Guild? What a social club like the workplace would look like as far as amenities and features, and particularly like versus what a typical office has now. I mean, sort of compare and contrast.
Yeah, I can take that on. So I think the first thing is that you want it to be a welcoming environment where there's a concierge amenities. So instead of having the receptionist of the days of old, you're going to have more of a hotel concierge type experience, whether that they can order you a coffee drink, book a lunch for you, drop off your dry cleaning, help you book a space within the space, right? So that first impression really is going to be that hospitality focus. Technology is obviously going to play a huge part in this. Now, whether that's introducing podcast rooms, video conference space that is has more like digital whiteboarding or larger screens for equity of presence. But it's like Nicole said, it's what they're going to include the elements of what's missing from your home environment so that everything works seamlessly and that those that aren't in the office still feel like they're part of it. Maybe there's Apple like Genius bars for tech service, right? So all of those technology elements are going to need to be elevated. Mindfulness and well-being aren't just little like the mother's room that's next, the mother's room that's next to the core. That's not happening anymore. The whole space needs to embrace biophilic elements, better lighting, the ability to have sit-stand desks, but maybe there is a suite or an area that's dedicated to app-based fitness or even massage. We've had clients that are like, what if there's a massage room or spa, pedicure and manicure opportunities so that you don't have to leave the office? Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like I'm going to keep going on and on and on, but variety is going to be incredibly important, much like a hotel lobby. It's going to become a place that you go to, not through. But like a hotel lobby, perhaps there's spaces where you go to be alone, but not lonely, right? So you're surrounded by other people, but have the ability to like put your headphones on and really focus in on what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Embracing the local culture, whether it's through, environmental graphics, bringing in the local coffee shops, having pop-ups of the local restaurants. All of these things help build the community, not only of the brand of the office, but the local community as well. And then finally, I think, Nicole and I often talk about, wow, if there's a rooftop at your office or even a roof terrace, any outdoor space, I'd much rather go there on a Saturday night for drinks with friends than wait in line at the long, at the like hippest place. So why not start opening up the office on the weekends because the space has so many great amenities? What if, the conference room turns into a yoga studio for your kids' yoga class, 10 a.m. Saturday morning? I think, that 24/7 perspective really just allows everyone to be able to use it the way they want.
I would imagine it's client by client, right? Because they would survey their employees to see what the greatest needs are, correct? I mean, that's the kind of approach you're taking with your clients.
Yeah. I mean, Nicole and I often throw a million ideas out there and we're like, well, not every client's going to take every one of these, but if they bite on 2 or 3 of them, that's great. And it is about I think the one thing we're finding is that no space is identical anymore. There's no client wants the same thing. Nicole, did you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I was going to say it's really about that curated experience. Yeah. You want to feel very special in your environment. Your place is there to enable you. And that's what we're seeing. So it is that mix up of all those things that are more important for some people over others and different cultures or brands, but it is about that unique experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you guys mentioned in your summary, even connecting with like book clubs and other community sort of social clubs and integrating some of that into sort of the office life, but certainly connecting employees to these sort of third-party local clubs is quite interesting. Kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It turns your office into an asset for the community as well. Like Holly mentioned, it's also that pop-up retail, but it can be a place for you to really engage with the groups around you and become almost a beacon for them.
Yeah, I think so many of those small businesses were hurt over the last year and a half. So being able to support those small companies, whether it's, food and beverage, like you said, a bookstore, a local artist, having the ability to support those people, I think just makes everyone feel better.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting too, like I'd love to get your take on, where today's, when I say today, like 2019, early 2020, Class A plus office buildings fit in here. I mean, do they sort of check all the boxes for what you would need or what a tenant would need to kind of pull off this sort of social club vibe with their office space?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of possibilities, right? I'm in New York. In New York, I feel like there's many buildings that are now opening up more to the community. And I think that's one of the areas where you need to be able to embrace your building and allow visitors in and not have it be sort of like, no one can come in because of the, security guard. So, being able to have a coffee shop or an indoor garden in your first floor lobby to help activate the space, bring in the community and allow people in, I think that's great. But otherwise, I feel like so many of the landlords right now are really embracing what's out there. They're offering the best in fitness. They're offering, conferencing suites and technology that maybe you don't have to buy, put into your own space. They've got bike rooms, game rooms, food and beverage offerings more so than ever before. So I think all of those things really, they play into it. And I think many landlords are starting to recognize the need for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what is interesting is all those buildings are definitely doing that. Where this could actually be more applicable is in an adaptive reuse story. It could be kind of that building that's been abandoned for a few years. What do we do with it? How can we transform it into something else? So then there's also a sustainability aspect of it. You have one idea from here too, is that you do have a ground presence so that you are engaging with the community. Maybe there are some other areas of this workplace that are off limits, but that coffee shop, that initial floor, that co-working space, people can come in and have meetings. You can use it just like you would a hotel lobby. So I think it's interesting to see too, those other types of buildings that maybe aren't that brand new shiny tower.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could, I mean, is there a client or a specific project that you want to sort of point to as an example of, hey, they are really pushing the envelope as far as sort of adapting our vision for the office of today and tomorrow?
I think most of our clients are doing pieces of this. So like Holly said, all those different amenities, they're all doing a piece of this. They're doing an extreme wellness suite, a very inclusive design. They also have the work cafe, work lounge cafes, where it becomes that space that transforms throughout the day from morning coffee to nighttime wine. But someone doing this 100%, we're closer in this regard to like more of a co-working idea, which we do have some clients like that. So this is kind of like turning it on another step and like what's next. Maybe it is more of the guild that we talked about before, where are all designers going to be in this one space, but we could all be in different companies. It could be a really interesting, dynamic, lively space, but it's not just segmented per company. So maybe that could be a spin on it in the future.
Yeah, I think, and to sort of follow up with that, many of our clients are a little scared to take the giant steps. So we have clients that maybe are looking towards activity-based workplace as their next step, which, Nicole and I have been designing spaces like that for many, many years, but some clients just aren't there yet. So it's the fact that we can introduce them to an activity-based workplace to help move the needle a little bit for their design is useful and helpful. And then those clients that are willing to take the risk to maybe reduce their, I don't even know that they're going to reduce their footprint so much as increase their amenities to draw people into the office. Again, it's all about what experience you're having at the office.